TIAA is on a mission. Why? Because 54% of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So in collaboration with big-name artists like Wyclef Jean, TIAA released Paper Right, new music inspiring a new financial future. With 100% of streaming sales going to a nonprofit that teaches students how to invest. Stream Paper Right now and help close the gap.
Tired of ads barging into your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free news podcasts to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to a Songs of Anfield special. So, ladies and gents, we didn't just leave you when we run into our top 5 vote. And again, thank you so much for your likes, your comments. And even after me and Jaggsy had done them, thank you so much for sort of the feedback and the comments that came through. That was lovely to see. However, we got a bit of a special for you. But before I go into that, I am delighted as ever to be joined by Jaggsy, David John Jaggs from the Ragamuffins. Jaggsy, how are we?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, enjoying this a week off from stressing about the mighty Reds. So, yeah, my blood pressure's down.
Perfect.
Don't need to start inhaling statins yet. So, yeah, it's all good.
All good. This is the eye of the storm, as it were, before it starts going crazy again. And just because the people have asked for it, here we are. The people ask, the people get, Jaggsy. So, player songs, that will be the theme of today. I mean, Liverpool are a historic club in terms of the way they sing for the players, the innovation, the chants, if you want to call some of them that as well. So we'll be getting into it today, people. We'll be talking through match day for Jaggsy. We'll be talking through former players, because I have no doubt some of you will have your favourites in that regard. And as if not more importantly, we'll be talking about the current crop and innovation at the same time as well. I mean, Jaggsy, a Liverpool match involves singing about players. We know that, full stop. At some point, before, after, during the whole piece. And we as a club, we love making player songs. There's no two ways about it. And they go viral, as we know. Player songs, against what we've covered largely with team songs, or Liverpool songs, if you want to call them that, the sort of separation of the categories. Your match day, which of those comes more into your set, would you say, or are we talking an equal balance?
Yeah, I'd say it's an equal balance. I mean, I try and obviously if I'm playing, doing a post game thing, I try and think, assuming who's just scored when I'm walking back to the hotel, I'm sort of thinking, what am I going to start with this? But then again, most of the time I'm having to get back a few minutes earlier than everyone else. So I'm like, well, there's no point. So say Salah's just bagged the last minute winner. I'm like, well, there's no point playing Salah's song first, because loads of people are still going to be walking back from the ground. So it's a funny one for me in that sense. But I'd say there's. I think we've touched it, but there's almost like some player songs that are huge. Yeah. Not just in the hotels and in the pubs and things before the game, but just on the internet as well. And yet they don't seem to go in the ground. So I do tend to get quite a lot of requests for them. So there's always kind of someone who'll come up and ask for something that I haven't played. Whereas I suppose it's just like, it's almost like a given that people will want to hear like Postcoast of Tommy and Fields of Anfield Road and like things like that. So yeah, I would say it's like an equal mix, but it's quite interesting that some specific people that you recognise on a match day will ask for the same songs, and you'd be like, oh yeah, it's the guy, it's the guy who always asks for Thiago, or the guy who always asks for this, and yeah.
It is interesting what resonates with people. I mean, I always think, because where we park is just next to Goodison, so we're walking back along Stanley Park after the game, especially after a win, like you said, if someone's scored the winner like Jota, Salah, you always look because you'll hear it from obviously out back of Hotel Annie, like the Salah, and that gets people sort of whistling along, shall we say, as we're going through. I mean, I did want to ask you, because there is the mix. Is there a player, if you had to do your stats, which player's song do you get asked for the most, would you say?
At the minute, the Van Dijk song still gets a lot of asks. The Diaz song that Andy Hodgson did, and we produced with him. Get onto that. So yeah, that gets a lot of requests these days. But before that, I mean, even the older Luis Diaz, Diaz, that used to get quite a lot of requests. But I'd never heard. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever heard either of those songs in the ground. But I mean, I'd probably say Jota. Jota's song's huge, and that almost gets the biggest lift. But when you think about it, I think when you think about the ground, I think at the minute certainly Jota's song is the most sung player song by a distance.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because even like I would say you're right. It's overtaken like Salah, Van Dijk. It is the one that just seems that all four parts of the ground get lifted by or ready for as well at times, so to speak.
Salah's song is almost like it's a Salah. We'll sing. There's 3 times we'll sing it. One is he's scored.
Yeah.
2, he's just missed, which is I think is a brilliantly Liverpool thing in terms of you don't just you don't groan and I mean. Obviously we had we got grief from certain bad faith Mancunians after the 0-0, but I think we are brilliant in terms of we don't moan that much on the whole, and we'll get behind players, and it's because we're not stupid. We know that if someone's missed, then they're feeling shit enough anyway. So the best thing you can do is get behind them and go make them feel. They've got like the entire crop, the entire ground, the entire cop behind them. So I think so. You get that, but the only worrying one for me is when we sing it before he takes a penalty, and I'm like, and that's the only one where I think Jesus, because obviously this is why I'm not an elite footballer, apart from the fact that I've got 2 left feet. But I'd be thinking if I was about to take a penalty. God, I don't want to let these guys down behind the goal. So it's like I'd almost be like, shh, just silence, lads. It's the only time I want the ground to be quiet before he's getting up to take a penalty. But yeah, so Salah's song has that sort of as that those 3 are the kind of ones when you think about Salah. And I think I must have said this on a previous podcast. There's a funny thing I think where you want different lengths of songs for different positions on the pitch because you almost have the opportunity for like a longer song for a striker because predominantly you're going to be singing their song after they've just scored a goal. And you've got
true.
It's sort of like goal, celebration, everyone goes berserk. And then there's like a little moment and then you start singing that player's song. And so you have, and it basically it's almost like a prolonging of the celebration that you've got. Whereas a midfielder, predominantly the song for them is they put in a tackle or they're ratting or they're getting in a bit of a fight and having a go at the ref or they've just got booked and they're fuming and the ground's gone berserk and you want the ground to get behind them.
Yeah.
And someone like Canate would fit into a song really easily, but it's like obviously telling that the thing that sticks is the whole ground going boo.
Yeah.
And Yeah, and I almost think he can get away with being more physical at home than, naturally, because he can be. If he barges someone off the ball and the entire crowd goes, Ibu! It's like,
yeah, I know.
It's like, I'll do this again. Because it's great. It's great, putting Martinelli in the stands and then just having everyone just go, Ibu! So, and the same with Thiago. Thiago's is just like it's his name. Thiago Alcantara. Thiago Alcantara. So, even Henderson's was the same. It just works really well. There's not. Trying to think of a midfielder with a really long song.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at anfieldindex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
Tired of ads barging into your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free news podcasts to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.
Yeah. I mean, Gerrard, obviously, but Gerrard's Gerrard, isn't he? So
Yeah, that's the thing. Gerrard was unique in it because everything, and he did everything. The Steve Gerrard would resonate. Yeah. Do you think, though, and it's not their fault at all, but because certain players get that almost, it's rather a chant than a song. Like you said, Thiago gets his, Ibu, and we all do it, and Nunes rings round. Do you think because they got that sort of short form chant, that's ruined their chances of being a catchy song? Do you think?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I suppose, but then again, that's the kind of thing you want. I think there's a weird sort of thing now that I suppose post, let's be honest, post what Jamie did, you've got this sort of idea that's. I mean, whenever a new player signs, you see. Well, I certainly see kind of people like be like atting us on Twitter and Instagram going, "Oh, you need to do a song for this guy," and it's like, well, in the olden days, in the olden days, it'd be the whole idea of earning a song from the clock, and that'd be the adulation, and it wouldn't necessarily have to be masterpiece. Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the majority of football songs aren't great. It's just, I mean, they're not going to win any Ivor Novello awards, really.
Easy, simple.
But you know what I mean. But so it's almost. I mean, Andy Robbo says about like the first time he heard the ground singing his name in that City game when he was like hounding Ederson and then John Stones, and then kind of going right across the back foot, and it's almost like a spontaneous thing of like, we'll just sing a song that fits his name in the ground, because at that point, no one had really been thinking, who really needs a song? This left back from Hull, who was signed for like £8 million. So because it's not, because ultimately that signing isn't a signing that's made everyone so, hey, look at this guy. Whereas that same summer, I mean, who else did we sign that summer? I don't know, but do you know about Salah? Obviously, so but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like, so it's a funny one in that sense, and the kind of sometimes the best things come from like spontaneity, and even some of the best songs come from you're on a European away or an away trip, and you're just having a drink in a bar with your mates, and you just come up with an idea. And I mean, even the I Want to Dance with Sir Bosley thing was a couple of lads outside the back of the halfie, and that song just came on the PA, and they were like, "Oh, this would be a lot," so they just started singing that. I mean, yeah, a lot of the songs that you're singing with your mates are going to be awful, but then again, it just takes like one to stick and be like, oh, this is actually really funny. And like we said, with the internet nowadays, and like with how the Jurgen song, I Feel Fine, went berserk. It was just someone filmed like a song that kind of kept going and kept going because they've obviously fallen upon something that sounds really good and works. So they've kind of stuck with it.
And yeah, you're right. Probably I think it might even have been a European Away that Jurgen song started. And then thinking of European Aways, like you say, that's where the Oxlade-Chamberlain song, which we won't repeat because there might be kids listening for some of the lyrics. But yeah, that one catches it. So it is weird that way works. And I mean, former players, I've got a fair feeling I'm going to know the answer to this, but I might be wrong. Don't know. The Bobby song, that dominated last season for obvious reasons. There's no two ways about it. Still in your request? Still play it automatically or get it requested, would you say now?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose this is more me than anyone else because I've heard a lot of the other kind of singers and things that I mean, obviously I don't really hear them on match days because I'm playing myself, but a lot of other people who play in pubs and things around the ground probably still play it. But I don't know, I'm almost like I'm almost like conscious not to play it before the game because I don't know. I think you want to celebrate the lads who are still here and wearing the shirt now and I almost kind of leave. I mean, if someone specifically asks for it, especially if it's like kids, because kids love that song. No, I mean, let's be honest, we all love that song. But yeah, I mean, if someone specifically asks for it, I'll play it and. Especially if it's me on my own, you can sort of segue it into other songs really easily because it's got like the same beat as like the Matip song to Waka Waka. You can probably go straight into LA with it because it's like a similar key to that. So you've got loads of scope with what to do with it and like just give it a little blast of this. And but I tend to try and keep like ex-player songs for after the game when it's almost like. I mean, I suppose there's one or two ways. Either we haven't won, and you've got the situation where, like, well, these lads were great. What have you done? Your shower of, So, no. But let's be honest, we are very privileged and very fortunate at the minute as Liverpool fans that is those sort of situations are fewer and farther between. So. So it's just a nice thing of like, oh well, let's just celebrate the past as well as the present. So, I tend to do that like the post game, and there's a great Janice Long saying which I can't repeat in full, but she used to say, when you're looking at what songs to play in your tour, you should play the hits and off. So, with that being the biggest hit we've got, it's a nice way to finish a set. Especially after the game, play the hit and then leave.
See, it's weird because if someone says like former player songs, everyone loves the Bobby song. And then if you said name some other former player songs that are still part of it, I think people will probably pause maybe quite for a long time. You said, have you got any other former players that you sort of bring into the mix?
Yeah, I mean, Luis Garcia's song. Still huge. Yeah. Big debate as well because back in the day, it was definitely Luis Garcia. He drinks sangria. He came from Barca to bring us joy. But there's like he came from Barca to Liverpool, and I'm like, don't know about that. But that's if I'm playing it for long enough, I'll probably alternate between the two versions so everybody's happy. Or nobody's happy, But so there's Garcia song, Maxi Rodriguez.
Yeah,
always gets a good airing, especially if it's a Sunday night because it brings back nightmarish sort of school memories of not having done not having done my homework and Heartbeat coming on the telly. So seeing Nick Berry's face and thinking, oh Christ, I've got double maths first thing tomorrow morning and I've not done that. So so Maxi Rodriguez's song. Occasionally, Gerard. Less so these days, just because we have so many other songs, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the. I mean, the other one that's quite funny is the old the one to the entertainer of like the best midfield in the world song.
Oh
Whoa,
God,
whoa,
yeah,
whoa! We
yeah,
got the best midfield in the world. But like a few others, I mean, still because of what happened when the song was big. The Ozan Kabak song still gets like requests at the hotel just because it was it was us who kind of came up with the idea, and people who were there on the night when it first sort of started, and people were doing the dance and the thing there. That was great. I mean, it's funny that someone like Mane's song doesn't get asked.
yeah.
I've not heard that requested at all.
Wow.
Which is like quite sad, really, because what a player! I mean, what an unbelievable player he was for us, and I don't think he left. I wouldn't even say he left under a cloud or anything. And
Nah.
it's we got a lot. We got a decent whack of money for him. He wanted, probably wage parity with Salah, things like that. So I don't think there's a lot of animosity towards him. But given what he did with us, it's strange that he doesn't really get requested. But yeah, that's. I'd say when you think about this, we seem to have a lot of songs around the sort of the Benitez days.
Yeah.
Stuff like, Reece had a few songs. Obviously, there's the one to the Hey Baby. There's the one to Waltz and Matilda. I felt like something, but stuff like Sammy Hippier's song was basically the same as like the Andy Robertson one now.
Yeah.
You obviously had Harry Cool. Harry Cool had the one to Daddy Cool. Who else? But a lot of those were like. But then you've got like Carragher's to We All Dream of a Team of Carragher's. So you can do like bits like that. I'll come back in and it's almost like if something pops into my mind, if I'm doing like one or two ex-player songs and then something else will come in, I'll be like, oh yeah, this will be a good laugh. And everyone will get onto them and have a sing. And especially if we've just had a good result and people are feeling in a jovial mood, we'll sing everything and then you'll get requests for like some left field things. So I keep meaning to learn how to play the Teddy Bears Picnic for Torben Picnic because that is just brilliant. All that sort of stuff. So just because I think just because it'd be funny, like keep it. If you're having a laugh, you might as well do things like that.
Yeah, keep it nostalgic. It's like you said, though, it's weird. Old songs become new songs, as you mentioned a few players there. I even think I heard it the other day, the Genie Wijnaldum song, that Harvey Elliott now goes in there, doesn't he? I've heard that one a couple of times as well.
Gravenberch works really well as well. It's almost like it almost feels like too easy a transplant of a song for Gravenberch as well. But we did during the Crystal Palace game, we did an event for the club for there's like they have like all the youth teams, so the under 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s. They have a big sort of Christmas party, and obviously it was booked in like a long time ago before the Palace game got moved to the 12:30 kickoff. So we were playing while the game was going on. So we went on stage at 1-0 down, and obviously we get the two goals. And there's like all kids around that age, all the coaches going absolutely berserk in one of the lounges in the ground. And then we did, and then obviously Elliott's goes in, and we just like went straight into like This Girl, and the whole place is like absolutely belting it out. So yeah, I thought Elliott had worked really well to Gravel Pit by
Wu-Tang,
by Wu-Tang, yeah. He's Harvey Elliott, wears the 67 shirts. I just, because that's always a good one. If you've got like a riff in a song that you can, like even like Suarez is. That's I suppose another reason, because probably the two biggest ex-player songs in recent times would be the Suarez song to I Just Can't Get Enough, and the Torres one. And
Torres, yeah.
There's like, both of those players left it to different degrees, a bit of a bitter taste to understate when they left. So you've got, it's different. I mean, the exception to that would be the Man United 7-0 game when absolutely everything was on the table at that game. Everyone's like, play the Salah song. Who cares? Yeah. It was almost like an amnesty of like how bitter the exit was. It was like, I mean, yeah. So that was, and the bounce was amazing. Obviously, seeing the whole sort of bouncing after that was incredible. But yeah,
will be interesting to see. I mean, current crop. We talked about like Jota, Salah, and VVD. They seem to be the ones. We've talked about that. I mean, we mentioned Nunes. I know you've played around with it, and you see a few others trying stuff. It just feels like that Nunes chant might just stay. It's going to be hard to get anything in, shall we say? The Curtis Jones one. I think it's fair to say that Curtis Jones song that's come up, that sort of started up. Do you think if he carries on, that's got a chance of becoming a regular one?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, that's a really good one. It's felt like a slow burner because it's been there for a while. But no. I mean, but the one for me, I thought has really kicked on of late is like the Joe Gomez one. To Ain't Nobody.
Yeah, fair.
Because it's sort of like it's been there for ages, and I'd almost like it's almost like he'd do something and someone would post an Ain't Nobody Like Joe Gomez thing, and it's like it felt like they were trying to push something that wasn't there. If that makes sense. True. Because it'd be like you'd hear someone try and get it going after he does the tackle, and it'd just be like, nah. No. And then, but it's it certainly feels like it gets a bit of traction. I mean, in that is it Newcastle game? Yeah, I'm sure the Newcastle game. It seems to get a bit of a because he was terrific in that game, and a couple of tackles he put in, a couple of little turns and spins, and he was putting crosses in with his left foot. He was absolutely terrific, and they definitely got a few sort of blasts. I think I was in 305 or 306 for that. So I don't know how it translated around the ground, but yeah, it definitely feels like Ain't Nobody is getting a bit, getting there a little bit. Whereas like some other songs that like people talk about, like the Simicast one, people when Ross like put that out, that video went berserk. Obviously, Simicast ended up giving him a shirt as like a thank you for coming up with the song. Mm. And I've never heard that in the ground. Even when Simicast had obviously a really good run of games, and I've never heard anything like that. And so it's almost a bizarre one because you think, well, a lot of people must be aware of the song because otherwise it wouldn't get the numbers on social media that it does. So, and even when it's like the club like pushing things like this as well, because that was the thing. It was like, oh, you don't have a song, and then all of a sudden he does. I think it's a shame that the one to Codependence by the Sheep Thrills with Cody Gakpo is brilliant. And the fact that it supports a really, really brilliant like Scouse band, that'd be great. But there's also one of the lads at the hotel has done one to Forever in Blue Jeans by Neil Diamond to Cody Gakpo, which is really good. That's like so, and it also fits in really well with Salisbury Hill as well because they've got the same sort of like
constant beat,
like jump between the two of them, which like
No, I heard that one. I have to think about that. I think you're right though. Like I'd never hear Simicast in the ground. Even Joe Gomez seems to have made and it's not because he's played at different positions. I think it's because he's getting close to scoring. I think, like you said, that one where he bent it just round the post against Newcastle, it got a rendition. And even like when we were 1-0 down at half time, we had the volley against Fulham in the last game and it just went wide. Nothing then. It probably will. It'll probably be like he'll get a goal. Everyone will do it for a minute or so, and then they'll be like, "Gone, maybe Shaka forever." Type of job.
Just like,
yeah. Maybe that's it. But I suppose the final thing I want to ask you about, like player songs, because I mean, it kind of gave me an insight. Is what you were saying that as soon as a new player signs, do a song, Jaggsy, do a song, make a song, and I know you'll send us bits or we'll hear them. Like, Is it just like, does that play a part, would you say, in your musical mindset, if that's the right phrase, that sometimes you'll just be thinking, I go, that'll work for X, Y, Z, or you are thinking like, I need to do a song for X, Y, Z player?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like sit down or I mean, I find that if there's times when I try and sit down and like come up with musical ideas and things, but obviously that's like sort of writing quote unquote proper songs. But
Yeah.
I find it keeps my mind sort of like quite.
I don't need a VPN. I've got nothing to hide. This is what I used to tell myself before I hooked up with LibertyShield.com. Not only is my home internet now fully encrypted, but I can now access all the websites I want, whenever I want, and do so from absolutely anywhere. As a Liverpool fan, I love to know I can now watch every match, regardless of whether it's on UK TV or not. My Liberty Shield VPN makes sure nothing is blocked and guarantees me super fast streaming speed throughout that match. You can get connected right now with their software package, which includes a 48-hour no-obligation free trial and instant access to their apps for Apple, Android, Fire TV, PC, Mac, and Android TV. Or go a step further like I have and get one of their pre-configured VPN routers. These small but powerful devices allow you to easily connect every device in your home to VPN, making it the perfect solution for smart TVs, Mag boxes, and games consoles. Visit LibertyShield.com today and use coupon code AIVPN25 to get 25% off at checkout.
I don't know, active in a songwriting sense, to be coming up with ideas and like trying to fit, because I mean, it sounds daft, but it's good practice to try and like work out a way that you can fit in a rhyme or a number of syllables into a song that exists already. And it also keeps you, I mean, even in terms of like learning songs to play, like as part of our like Ragamuffins set and things like that, you like not necessarily in a case of adapting it or anything, just in terms of thinking that'd work really well. And because, but the other thing is, it's quite nice to be, if I can come up with something that's like lively, it just works better because it kind of keeps people, you know, it's got a bit more like, it's got a bit more bounce and a bit more vibrancy. Whereas if you're kind of trying to like do a song that's like a bit slower and a bit of a, you know, it just kill it a little bit. So at one point we were really lucky. I mean, when you think about it, when we had Wijnaldum, I mean, that's an absolute bop. So you had that, we had Thiago as well. That, Cuba is an unbelievable song. So you had, and at the same time we had, it's obviously not a player song, but we had the one to Freed from Desire. So we almost had like so if we were playing like a post match with the full band, we'd be doing like a 40-minute disco set. It's just great. It's just, so if there's anything with like a sort of I mean it's almost like a bit funny that during the summer that ChatGPT thing for McAllister was like it was like, I mean the thing that got me wasn't the song itself or the song that they used, but it was the fact that they went, "Hi ChatGPT, can you write a song to a 90s trance banger?" And it's like, do you know what? That is almost like what you need for every footballer like song. It's just like, just write as a song to a 90s trance banger. Just do one to like Sandstorm by Darude or something like that, and just because it just works. It's because I mean, when you see some of the best clips like that is when you see all like the fans in somewhere like Holland, where they're all the Eindhoven fans or like the Feyenoord fans, and they'll all be like kind of having a rave at like 7 in the morning, or they're being bussed somewhere. It's just so you feel a bit more sort of like up for it if you kind of like going like this to. So God, it is mad. But we had loads of ABBA songs as well at one point.
True,
so we had the one to Mamma Mia for Minamino. We had the Mane one. What's the other one? Oh, and obviously Simicast as well.
Simicast,
So ABBA's always I mean, I know we've had I remember when we had Fernando Morientes. We tried, everyone was trying to get one to Fernando. I think before the Torres song became that is Torres' song. I remember people trying to start one for to that ABBA song, but ironically, if you're picking an ABBA song, you want it to be one of the absolute bangers, rather than one of the ballads. I mean, yeah.
It will be interesting to see. It will, because someone somewhere, like where the Curtis Jones takes off, will just. Again, it might be a new player. Who knows? You might have to wait for it. But there's always one in the pipeline. Because I saw the other day someone saying that, or a few comments, I should say, saying that, we get the Stonebuck's getting a bit stale. But player songs evolve because of their nature, don't they? And who's here and who's not, shall we say? So
well, that's a really good point, actually. The Jota song, obviously, it's Bad Moon Rising. But the first example of hearing that I've heard a Liverpool crowd doing was there was a kind of joke song for Colin Pascoe.
Yeah, God.
And it was like, oh, his name is Colin Pascoe. He puts the codes on for the team, and that. So it's almost like sometimes the song won't make it, as it were, into the kind of repertoire of things that are sung in the ground, but the melody is sort of like stored in so like people will be like, oh, do you remember and so ultimately it's a song that you go back to on a European away. I mean, and it's the same with it. I mean, I always thought before LA, there was a song I remember hearing about like Shankly and Paisley, and I'm sure that has played a part in like the lads who've kind of twisted and then so that's emerged as LA later on, because things don't sort of happen like spontaneously, which is one of the great things about our fan base. There's like organic changes and things in the makeup of it, and how things evolve, and so
crazy, isn't it? Yeah, you just forgot European aways, chants in the pubs, the back of the 12th man, Hotel Annie, wherever. And even Chat GPT is now in the mix in it for songs.
I mean, not wanting to do myself down, but I sometimes think that I owe it to the people in there to try and sing stuff that they come up with, because I mean, there's almost like what I do when I play is obviously I want to you want to entertain people and sing songs that people know, but it is really important as a fan base to try and come up with new ideas. And if it's basically a one-way thing where it's just me kind of singing songs at people, then ultimately that's going to kill the creativity, because I mean, obviously I want it to be popular and I want people to come in, but if people aren't kind of coming up with songs elsewhere, it's not that's sort of blocking something that was traditionally a way for our fan base to come up with new ideas. So I do, if I get a message off people I know from the hotel, I'll be like, right, do you know what? Let's give this a go. And sometimes it might be dreadful. I mean, and with respect to some of the songs that people do send us in, some of them are god awful. But I mean, like I said, that Cody Gakpo one's brilliant. The one to Forever in Blue Jeans. There's there's other stuff that people send in, and it's great. And it's also great that people are trying to come up with ideas. And and the other thing is, obviously, if there's like videos that go up all the time. So if I see if I see a video that someone's done, then I'm like, yeah, let's give this a go, and like kind of just like amplify it, because I mean, I said this to Andy. I mean, Andy next door at Taggies. He's like, do you mind me playing this Sabaz Live one? I was like, yeah, of course, mate. He's like, I didn't come up with it. I just put out a video of it. And if we want songs to take off, we've almost got to have that thing where you amplify them. Because initially I was like, the Diaz song is Andy's song, and I was like, well, but then again, if I don't play it, then it's only going on next door. Whereas if I sing it,
right.
And there was a great moment after I can't remember which game it was, but I think it was one of the. We've not had many Saturday 3 o'clocks, have we? But I'm sure it was one of the Saturday 3 o'clocks, and I was playing it after the game, and the outside of the marquee, obviously like looking in, they started singing the Diaz song, and I was like, that's always a good sign when people sing a song after I've finished playing and keep it going. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. But like you say, it's not caught off in the ground yet. So it's going to take. I reckon Diaz Senior, when he's going on these away trips, he's going to do he's doing the 38 next season. That's what he's doing it.
It'd be interesting. Yeah, you're right. Luis Diaz might have to have a big moment, so to speak, and it goes viral. It's a good point, though. You do forget that, like, you want to hear the songs. It is an entertainment business still, in it. You want everyone to join in. So it will be interesting to see what we hear for the rest of the season, player-wise. So, ladies and gents, we are at the end of our special. So, as ever, and most importantly, all it really leaves me to say is, Jaggsy, thanks for the time and the insight, mate. It's much appreciated as ever.
No worries. Thanks for having us on. Up the mighty Reds.
Indeed. Top of the league still. And hopefully we still hear all these chants, songs and everything inside and outside the ground. But for the final time for this series, ladies and gents, that was the Songs of Anfield, Anfield Index.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at anfieldindex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
Tired of ads barging into your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free news podcasts to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.